Doesn't matter if you are running short or long distance, adding sprints to your training regimen is a great way to build muscle mass, to increase speed, and it's a really fun thing to add. Almost no one is taught how to run. It seems to come so naturally to us when we're kids, but then we lose it when we're adults. Maybe because we sit down too much, or maybe because so many of us wear shoes that constrict our natural movement. So the first thing you need to know are the 3 different phases of a sprint, or really any run, but they're way more pronounced in a sprint than if you run longer and slower. So the first phase is your acceleration phase, and what's important is where your center of gravity is in relation to your body. So when you accelerate, you're going to have your center of gravity really far in front of you. If you've ever seen sprinters come out of the block, it looks like they're falling forward. Their torso is almost parallel to the ground. That's the acceleration phase, and you're going to keep your center of gravity really, really far in front of you until you are at a speed that you are going to maintain. The second phase is the maintenance phase. So you're still going to want your center of gravity in front of your body. You're going to want to have it kind of right where you feel like you're going to fall forward. That's the sweet spot. And it's important here to not lean forward and hip hinged, but that your body is actually straight and you're leaning forward. And right where you feel like you can't hold yourself back anymore, that's the center of gravity you want when you maintain a run. So that's where you're going to be for most of the run. Even if you are running long distance, it's going to be the same thing. The last phase, and often most overlooked, and where you're likely to get injured, is where you are slowing down. See, people tend to forget their technique. It just goes out the window when they slow down from a run. But what you want to do is you want to shift your center of gravity to be behind you, right above you. And you want to keep your leg motion the same way that you had before. So this is not the point where you want to overstride, because you will get injured doing so. Congratulations, you now know more than 80-85% of runners. If you learn to master this, and it sounds so simple, but it's not always easy to incorporate when you run, you're going to be ahead of 90% of runners. Okay, so now that you know that there are 3 phases to the run, I'm going to show you how to actually start properly, because your start in a sprint is going to set up the rest of your run or the race. So there are going to be 2 components. One is going to be just mechanics, how to start, and the second one is going to be how to get more power. So when starting, you want to make sure that your body is in a straight line, and you want to make sure that you're pretty down low. And again, my torso is not parallel to the ground, but it's also not far off. And then you want to find that place where you are right before you will fall flat on your face. And this is going to be the perfect starting position for you. So those are the mechanics of getting your start right, which sets up the entire race. Here comes the really fun part, which I only see trained sprinters do, and if you add this, you're going to be way ahead of the game. When you start, you want to inhale as much air as you possibly can and hold your breath. You know, if you're doing a really, really heavy squat or lifting something heavy, how you will naturally fill up your core with air to stabilize it, and you're going to do the same as long as you are accelerating. Some really good sprinters don't breathe at all when they run either 60 or 100 meters. Fun little trivia fact for you fellow running nerds. Did you know that the first Olympic Games had a 200-yard sprint, which was, according to legend, how far Hercules could run on a single breath? So now that you know how to do it, let's try it for yourselves, because unless you do it and you feel what feels best for you and your body and your running style, it's not going to make a difference in your run. So we are going to try 3 different things. First of all, I want you to do a start, and remember, body in a straight line, leaning forward. So you're going to start in the same position 3 times. First time, you're just going to run without holding your breath. So no extra core tension, just take off and see what that feels like. Don't have to run far, run 10-15 steps, and just pay attention to how that feels. Now for the second one, I want you to hold your breath the entire time. Suck in as much air as you possibly can, and then suck in some more. and then run the same distance, so 10 to 15 steps, and pay attention, does it feel different than when you didn't hold your breath at all? And lastly, you're gonna do an in-between of the two. So you're gonna start with really, really strong core pressure, and then halfway through, so 5-6 steps or so, you're gonna exhale it and let the tension go, and see how that impacts it when you don't keep it for the entire duration of your acceleration. When you first start doing this, you may not be able to hold your breath for very long, but the more you do it, the easier it's going to get, the more stabilization and power you're going to get from your core, and you will notice a difference in your sprints. Now, sprinting is a really delicate balance between using your muscles at their full capacity and full force, while at the same time being really, really relaxed. So when you tense your abs or your core, make sure that the rest of your body is still limber and not tense. The last thing you have to master to become a really good sprinter is going to be your arms. Now, how you use your arms and how important they actually are is a widely debated topic among running nerds like yours truly. But I believe in testing things out for ourselves and feeling the difference, because that's the only way that we can know how much it actually impacts our run. First thing I want you to try is try and sprint or run fast without barely moving your arms. So you're going to do a very, very minimal movement, and if you can, film yourself to see what it looks like. And what you'll probably notice is that your legs follow your arms. Next, I want you to try and do a really, really proper arm motion for sprinting, which is going to be to move your arm from about your hip to your chin. You're going to want your elbow at about 90 degrees or so. And when you move your arms, it's almost going to be like a punch in every single step. And that punch does not come from your bicep or your arms, it actually comes from your shoulder. Just as if you were to throw a ball or if you were to throw a punch, your arm motion is going to come from your shoulder. Now record yourself running the same distance, and I guarantee you're going to see a difference. A little bonus test for you guys. If you've ever done high knees, just a classic sprinting or runner drill, try and do it without using your arms or using your arms minimally, and see how that impacts you. How does it impact your balance, and how does it feel? How easy is it to lift your legs? Then do the other extreme and use your arms as much as you possibly can, and see how much easier it is to lift your legs. And here comes the really good part, a little bonus for you guys. The faster you move your arms, the faster you're going to move your legs, because your arm cadence is going to follow your leg cadence, or rather the other way around. So if you move your arms faster, you will move your legs faster. And for most people, it's a lot easier to move your arms faster than it is to move your legs faster. All right, guys, you do these 3 things and you will be ahead of 90 to 95% of runners, because people don't typically do these. And let me know in the comments below, once you've tried it out, did it work for you? How far do you run? What's your distance? Please share your running story with me, because I love hearing it in the comments. And I will catch you on the next one.